Hey guys, welcome. We're going to be reviewing chapter 1064, Egghead Research Stratum of One Piece. So let's get right into it. So we see Van Augur and Kuzan were the ones that went to, Chocolate Town to get pudding. Kuzan was very obvious, I think, because, everyone was iced over. But to see Van Augur there as well means that this happened pretty close together, I think, with the current storyline. So that's a little bit curious to see that Oda has the cover story and the actual story running side by side. But anyways, not much else to see in this cover story, so let's get into the next part. So we are actually seeing a continuation of the fight between Blackbeard and Law. So Law opens up with our room, amputate. Now this is funny because we've seen Law use amputate before, but it hasn't done anything like kill anybody. And what's implied later on as Q is, worrying about his horse Stronger, because when Law used amputate, it amputated, Stronger in half, so like half of his body is gone, cut down the middle, or however you want to put it. Blackbeard is like, is this a awakened ability? I have never heard of this before. But, we have seen Law use amputate. So how is it different when he's using our room? Is it like maybe stronger? Does it actually kill the person? We don't know. So we see Blackbeard retaliate with his own move called Quick Crash. Now this is cool because, he mimicked Whitebeard at the Paramount War, but, he never used his own named attacks yet. And we see, after the 2-year time skip, we assumed he would be stronger using Whitebeard's fruit. And we do see that by him using his own named attack. So while this is going on, Law yells over to one of his crew members named Hakugan and says, hey man, get the ship ready. Sachi and Penguin, get in the ocean and provide cover support. So first off, now we are seeing what Law's crew can actually do. It would seem that they are not really land battle ready people. Law is, but hey, he has a devil fruit. His crew, on the other hand, are prepared for sea battle. We should have known this by them having a submarine. Come on, what do we use submarines for? But even more curious is Sachi and Penguin. I believe it's Penguin we see in the water, and he sucks up like a whole buttload of water and then proceeds to shoot it out like some fishman karate technique, or maybe an ice beam from Pokemon. I don't know. Is he a Pokemon? Maybe he's a fishman. We don't really know, but it's very, cool that he could do that. And the only response we get from him is he grew up in the North Blue, and their harsh, cold waters makes some sort of, expert water, whatever, we don't know. So Penguin is shooting this, water beam at the apples that Q has dropped from his basket. He's falling from the air still at this point, and I guess he just doesn't want to use his devil fruit just yet. So, that's what he uses, those apples, and the water beam hits the apples and explodes them in the air before the rest of the crew gets hit. Not that interesting, but still a pretty cool attack. Beppo, though, has an extremely good sense of hearing, it seems. So he yells over to John Bart, like, yo, sniper at 3 o'clock, go protect the captain. And John Bart jumps in front of this bullet, tanks it, and says, yep, gotta protect the captain. So Van Augur is like, whoa, this guy just jumped in front of my bullet. And I guess that's pretty nice. He's a good bodyguard. That is weird. Van Augur can warp, but his bullets can't warp? What is the deal with that? Does he have to touch somebody for them to warp? Apparently, or maybe he just didn't use it this time because he thought no one was paying attention. But anyways, he misses. Hey, so if you made it this far in the video, if you like what you see, please throw me a like and hit that subscribe button so I know to keep on making more videos like this. I would really appreciate it. Thanks. We go back to Law as he opens up his K room and his sword shoots through Blackbeard, it extends. And this is the same attack that he used against Big Mom. So Blackbeard is surprised for a second because he's like, whoa, the sword is sticking right through me, but I'm not hurt by it. And as he's thinking, why isn't he hurt? Law activates Shock Willie and he gets wrecked. I mean, he is, coughing up blood, his eyes roll back for just a second, and he is sort of falling and knocked out, taking massive damage. Van Augur sort of whoops by Blackbeard as, he falls, and he's like, so boss, this is what happens when we come in with little to no information. We are getting destroyed right now. Do you want to retreat? And Blackbeard still, coughing up blood and physically and extremely hurt. He's like, nah, listen, we gotta move forward, continue with the plan. He appears right in front of Law, and Law states to Blackbeard, isn't it a bit hard, Most of your captains have devil fruit powers. That's pretty bad, isn't it? And Blackbeard, knowing what Law means, says, the power that they bring me is well worth the risk. And now they're implying not, land battles right now. They're implying sea battles because Law's crew, as I mentioned before, is a master of sea battle. So, of course, if all of your crew has devil fruits, who's going to save you if you fall into the water? You really don't have a chance in the water. So this is what Law is referring to. We see Law's crew attacking Blackbeard's ship from the sea, and Blackbeard's ship, of course, is trying to retaliate with the remaining members on the ship. We go down to his, prison cell, the brig, and Pudding is sitting in there. Is Kuzan on the ship? We haven't seen him yet, but we are going to continue to talk about Pudding and the jailers. Pudding states that the jailers and Blackbeard wouldn't be so cocky if Big Mom were still alive. She would make them pay, it would seem. Now, is this implying that Big Mom could still be alive? I believe so. We haven't seen a body just yet, but that doesn't mean that she is alive. She was hit down into a volcano. That's pretty bad. Even Big Mom probably was hurt by that. So we don't know if Big Mom is still alive, or Kaido for that matter either. Anyways, Blackbeard's men say to Pudding, hey, we're fighting the guy that killed Big Mom right now, so we'll see what happens. Somehow, Sakazuki has found out about the battle between Law and Blackbeard, but since he is the fleet admiral, he has to still bide his time. He can't just go out every time that, big names are fighting. So he decides to still wait before he starts sending people out to either intervene in this battle or to pick up the pieces afterwards. So we're just going to have to see what he does at a later point. So we go back to Luffy, Bonnie, Chopper, and Jinbei. And of course, Bonnie had used her powers to transform them into different ages so that the pacifista wouldn't recognize them. Bonnie and Jinbei turn to kids, and Chopper and Luffy turn into old men. But it's curious to see that Luffy has turned into this version of himself as an old man. What does this mean? Is this just a little joke that Oda played? Or does this have a deeper meaning? Maybe Luffy isn't on the path that he needs to be on just yet. Like maybe he has another, turning point that he has to go through. Or quite possibly that maybe this has to do with the battle between Law and Blackbeard. What if Law loses this battle? What if Law loses his life? Or what if Law is made to do something by Blackbeard that, makes Blackbeard the Pirate King instead of Luffy? We really don't know, but it's just interesting that he would draw this bad version of Luffy instead of his, Garp-looking old man version. Next, we see that Jinbei sort of goes through the list of why Kuma was bad. I mean, he says he's a tyrant, He says that his people threw him out as their king. He says he became a pirate and then a future warlord. And then, he became this pacifista, a total dog of the government. And Bonnie, being herself, is like, no, my daddy isn't like that. It's still interesting, he's her daddy. But, anyways, she says that he wasn't like that. He was a good king, and that the world government must have put something over his head to make him turn into this mindless beast, because he would have never done that. He totally despised the world government. Not in a bad way, but, like, he couldn't stand the world government. But he is also of a special race, she mentions, and that is interesting because this is why Vegapunk took an interest in him. So, is he Lunarian? Is he a winged race? There were 3 races that Big Mom didn't have in her kingdom. The Lunarians were one of them. Maybe Kuma was one of these other races that she didn't have. The rest of the crew was brought up to the clouds around the egg. It's called the research stratum, and the lower area on the ground is called the fabrication stratum. Stratum is being used as a phrase to mean status or importance here, so we see that on the lower levels is where the researchers are, and up here on the higher level might be, the higher elevated people. But anyways, she also tells the crew that Luffy is down below. Brook and Zoro decide to stay on the ship so that they may protect it just in case any funny business is gonna happen. The rest of the Straw Hats get off of the ship and they go to change into the attire of the island. And if you look at this panel right here, their clothes look amazing. I'm not gonna go into too much detail because you can see what they look like right here. But would you look at that Sanji outfit? Reminisce of Jinbei? What's that mean? Anyways, at the end of this chapter, Shaka and Dragon are talking. Shaka reveals that he believes that he's going to be dying soon, and I'm pretty sure he is warning Dragon about this. Dragon doesn't believe him, but the question is still out there. Are they really tied only by the revolutionaries, or are they actually friends? We don't know just yet. But there is a break next week, so we will have 2 weeks to wait. This is going to be crazy, right? So hopefully we get some information soon. I'll see you guys next time. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks.